I mean, overlords kind of go. So maybe they kind of try to speak, but they don't have.
Could be, but I figure that's more of gas escaping them.
No,
then again, it
actually
does
try
sound
to
pretty
communicate,
guttural. Then again, it does sound pretty guttural. And according to the lore, the reason why overlords are the supply building for Zerg is because it's not so much that they supply the Zerg, but if you don't have enough overlords, then you can't really control the Zerg.
Effectively,
but that's
yeah.
your lore fact of the day.
And also, overlords have a constant headache.
That they do.
They're like controlling the Zerg is painful to them. Don't have a choice. It's a very miserable existence.
Actually,
They're grumpy all the time.
That's why they spread creep. You know, that's actually a proposal. Oh, never mind. We're gonna deliver it later. Here we have it then. Spawning in the top right-hand corner map. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE. Here it is. I did not realize that his in-game name is TSG Solar. This might affect casting tool a bit. Here we have the Blues coming off of his semifinals run in the Stay-at-Home Story Cup. Now looking to show what he's got. You know what happened, Steel? Solar didn't sign up last week, and then he saw Zest match his record for most ESL Pro Tour Open Cup Asia wins, and Solar. This is why Zest hasn't signed up this week, because Solar, he got the uncles on it. He is looking. Uncles? Yeah, you weren't around for VTL. Or Vietnam Team League, you were around for the other one, but you don't get like to explain to you like he explains to Prince of Egypt. We have representing Triumphant Som Gaming, TSG, all the way in the land of Korea. It is Sola. Battle. And in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting in the bottom left-hand corner map, you know him, you love him, showing us a lot of good Protoss plays here. Especially PvZ plays, can that translate to Solar? He is representing Team GP all the way from the land of Korea. We have ZvP.
Alright, so we have a standard opening from both of them. No crazy stuff.
A bit of an early third hatch from
that's
Solar,
another
but
greedy opening. Another greedy Zerg opening.
It is, but it isn't quite 3 hatch before pool.
Yeah, but it's what we saw with sort of earlier. It's the same timings. Maybe a bit even earlier with the hatchery, third hatchery.
Seems about it, yeah.
But we know that Super kind of knows how to handle this, so...
Whoa.
See what... he's gonna see the third hatchery there. See the timing on it.
Do you notice that in the third base? I think it might just be glitching out for me.
Yeah, no, I can see this.
Yeah, it looks like a loading thingy, like a loading circle.
It's buffering.
It's buffering. Hey, oh, still got a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, what the hell? It's not. It has a symbol around it.
It's buffering.
What the hell is this?
It's I'd imagine it's a symbol that's on the third location that doesn't quite get blocked out. It's not quite opaque by the hatchery, but yeah, it just kind of looks like a buffering symbol.
Okay, it's gone now.
Nice. We have a buttery smooth third hatch here on 1080p. Yeah, so we got buttery smooth.
It's loaded. You fixed the VPN, so now it's you have access to the third hatchery. But Super is responding pretty much the same thing. He's gonna get glaives, gonna get the not the robotic facility, the robotics facility.
Yeah, yes, robotics facility.
What I meant to say is the forge, and then the robotics facility. But
why is this so hard for us?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have the excuse that English isn't your first language.
To be fair, no, it's just very confusing when you have a lot of buildings that have words that are shared between them, and they also have similar roles that conflict in your brain. Sometimes the design of them is kind of like
Similar.
similar, you know.
Or sometimes it's even just because of builds. You associate a certain building
Yeah.
with another building because
Yeah.
it's used often in a certain build.
And also, our brains are kind of stupid.
Welcome to the Occam's Razor approach.
Welcome to humanity.
Alright, solar is
try and shade into the natural.
yeah,
Respecting the shade.
respecting super about the same amount that solar respected super. This time though, evacuating the drones a lot quicker than our Swedish Zerg player. That Glaives is done, but it's actually all the adepts are actually all cleaned out, and super once again gonna cut his losses and build up into a timing push.
Alright, so we lost 4 drones in this. Not quite worth 4 adepts.
Yeah, not quite. But we do see Solar going in for a lot of scout. Doesn't quite see much, but when he sees the sentries and the stalker, he should get a bit of a sense of what's to come. Super once again going into Blink. And I'm thinking we'll likely see a similar mid-game push that we did in game number 1. With all the Colossus out.
As an update, Jim Rising is the only foreigner left in the quarterfinals.
As is tradition.
Cast by Chicken Man at the moment. If you want to check out Chicken Man's channel, go ahead and check that out. But yeah, the Koreans are kicking out. The
Koreans are back in Korea Cup.
Get out! Get out of our territory here. Blink is on the way. +2 has started for Super. He's got doesn't have quite the amount of gateways. He only has 4.
That he does, and that's not.
And he's not
really
going
to be
for
too
the Colossi,
effective. But
thing that he did against sort of.
yeah, no, he's not.
Oh,
But
and Solar's
this
moving
time,
out.
Super's just looking to clear
Donger.
creep and hit back.
The Roach Donger comes out.
Oh, being caught out by.
My Super.
Yeah, being caught out by the Immortals here. That is the last thing you want to drop on top of a Roach army. Oh no, that's the.
But he needs, and actually, he really wants that because that means the Immortals are not here to defend.
That he does. Solar trying to be quite a bit distracted there with the Warp Prism, but it's not going to be enough. Super now being backed into a corner. The you can't really kite with Stalkers if there's no room to kite.
Yeah, he takes care of the cannon there. More Zerglings coming in for reinforcements. But now the Immortals are around with the War Prism. This might be the end of Solar's attack. How many
It does not actually seem that way. It doesn't actually seem that way for now.
So this is not quite the damage Solar was looking for.
Not quite, but it's still going on. If you can take out the Immortals... Yeah, if you can take out the Immortals, that's a big step up, and GG is called. Solar takes game number 1, showing off a little bit why he does hold the record for ESL Pro Tour Asia.
Yeah, I think the Immortal drop was a nice touch, but those Immortals needed to be at home to defend. And Solar kind of realized that, oh, so your Immortals are not at home defending.
Great.
Thanks.
It's free real estate.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's free real estate. Oh, I can play versus Solar.
Yakuzaku versus Solar. It's not.
Let's go.
It's gonna be weird. Playing random as well.
It's not that weird.
Yeah, Solar dropped.
He realized that there's no game heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it was apparently the wrong map.
Alright. There we go. Yeah, and Bestred is casting Parting versus Ragnarok.
Go watch that if you're interested in some genius plays.
Mm-hmm. Now we still Cure versus Control. We don't know what's going on with that. That will be determining who who is going to be the contender for this series? The follower for this series. How do I define that? What word am I missing?
The contender?
Contender.
I'm not sure if contender is the right word, but it's... but
Yeah, no, I don't.
Speaking of contenders, here we have it over in the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Nightshade, otherwise known as Belladonna. LE here. We have it, the Blues, coming off of a stay-at-home Story Cup semifinals, as well as the record for most ESL Pro Tour championships, or ESL Pro Tour Asia championships, I should say. It is representing Triumphant Song Gaming, TSG. He is Quirky's youngest. It is Sola. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Red Protoss, all the way from the land of Korea, representing Team GP, showing off his PVZ in game or Series 1. Now he's gonna have to do it again for 2 more games in a row. It is Super.
GP, of course, stands for Gonpak.
Bet you didn't know that.
Hmm?
What does Gongpak mean, Steel?
I don't know. Also, Goku Joy joined the team.
Yeah, he did. Now we will no longer, be confused as to who's on Ball Pain and who's on, and who's teamless.
Look, Yaku, I don't think between the two of us, neither of us can use the term "we will never be confused" in any context, unless we are confused, which sort of, you know, kind of defeats the purpose.
No, sort of is out.
Sort of is not playing anymore. Yeah, is that what it means? He's been eliminated by Super. And Super with a quick robotics facility here.
Oh, before the Twilight Council even. So he's just going straight on the Soul Train. Not gonna be looking to get upgrades quite soon. And so now it's just gonna be a timing attack coming out from Super. Whereas Solar got a little delayed here on the natural, but no biggie. Just gonna be looking to drone up as much as he can before Solar, turning it into defense.
He has 1 drone on gas. That's it. That's all the gas income he's getting.
He wanted to get speed, and once he did, he is focusing entirely on minerals. He is pumping out a lot of drones here. But we'll have to see what his next step from there is.
There's a Warp Prism. So both of them planning to be really aggressive right now. I mean, Solar might be planning to be super greedy though. He's getting a Roach Warren. Finally getting some more gases.
And now it's about the time the Lynx do get in, and they do get a scout. Good little force fuel coming in there on top of the ramp. It does block a lot of scouting.
A long intro for Yaku. Casuals.
Freaking casuals.
I think your record is like at 4.5 minutes, right?
Yeah, something along there.
Something like that. The line. For those who think that 2 minutes is a long intro for Yaku, you have no idea. You have no idea.
See, if you have no idea, Super doesn't either.
This isn't our event. We're being professional here. This is Yaku being professional.
It is. Oh no, I remember when we did Katowice and my intros were 45 seconds long, and people thought that was. I thought, aha, you don't know the half of it.
I think we have a few clips. I tried to clip your longest intro, but it was too long for the clip, so I think I made it in a highlight or something. I'm not quite sure. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, indeed it was. Speaking of highlights,
started to get a lot of damage.
It is, but it's also starting to take a lot of damage as well. Super is looking to try to keep Solar back as much as he can to try to damage the roaches wherever he can. Does not want to allow the Zerg army to get out of hand.
And yeah, Super so far kind of trading efficiently, but Solar is going to have a gigantic roach donger coming up to this zone.
I mean, we have the stream marked for mature, right?
Yep.
That is good to hear. And now the surround is coming in.
The warp prism. Oh, it's picking it up.
That was a hot pickup if I've ever seen one. Super is going back, tail between his legs. He knows he can't really fight here. So he's just going to look to get some harass with the Immortals whilst building up his army back home. It is about as much as he can do. If he can cancel the Evo Chamber or kill the Roach Warren, that would obviously be huge, but it would also be a very big risk.
Yeah, but Solar is not taking the bait. He's pushing forward. The Donger will not stop. This is a much smaller Donger than you saw in the previous game, though, so doesn't have a lot of Ravagers. Not enough to clear up all the force fields. The Warp Prism gets recalled.
With the Immortals, but one of them does go down, and both of them have gone down. Even the choke point here, if the force fields, this is not going to be enough.
No, the Immortals are not
Solar
dead.
is starting to move in. One Immortal went down. No, both Immortals are alive.
No, both of them are still alive. He picks up the last one. He has 3 health points.
3 health and 10 kills. That is a hero Immortal if I've ever seen one.
And the other one has 48 and 15 kills.
Wow. That would have gone completely differently if just one more hit landed on that Immortal.
Yeah.
Tell you that.
Super, just about by the skin of his Immortals, manages to hold this. Gonna get some more Immortals. Blink is about to finish getting shield batteries. He's going to be holding on 3 bases for quite a long time, it seems. Solar getting a Baneling Nest, trying to transition into a bit of a different composition here, as he's taking a 4th base. Super getting that robotics bay and another robotics facility. We're gonna see Colossi again.
Probably, as it does seem like Super is one of those rare Colossus in PvZ players, which is kind of refreshing after a lot of Archon Immortals. Super now once again going in for a harass. He knows that Solar is
Immortal.
I mean, why not? Yeah. He only has 3. He only has 3. Needs to put it to work.
The thing is, he kind of needs these
Immortals.
Immortals
Been restored on the Immortals.
Yeah, he needs them to buffer for the Colossi at some point later in the game. So he can't really lose those.
Oh yeah, it's kind of funny to say this, because you normally think of Immortals requiring a buffer, but at some point, the Immortals do become the buffer. Pickup come down from Solar.
Yeah, look, the Zealots are the buffer for the Stalkers. The Stalkers are the buffer for the Immortals. The Immortals are the buffer for the Colossus.
But then it switches right back around, because then the Colossus will become the buffer for the Stalkers.
Is shooting the front line and helping everybody out. That's the Protoss Ball. That's the philosophy behind the Protoss Ball, and why it's so effective.
It is, but at the same time, if you look back into versus sort of on Eternal Empire, eventually it got to a point where the Colossus became the buffer for the Stalkers.
When that happens, you kind of lose the fight. Also, when you're surrounded by an overwhelming army on the high ground, you know.
Well, if you can blink right under the Brute Lords.
There are always other factors in war and in StarCraft, and in love as well.
I don't, yeah.
Spire is on the way for Solar.
And
it's gonna be able to handle these Colossi, maybe.
We're gonna see a repeat of series number 1 with a Greater Spire being thrown down. Solar now working on the Hive. I think he's I'm hoping he doesn't go full Miomaika and goes to the Ultras. But that's it. But versus this army with not a lot of Immortals, that's certainly a possibility. Not a good possibility, mind you, but...
When he said he's going full Miomaika, I was immediately thinking, what, is he gonna get a hive, a proxy hive or something? Like that's where my mind went.
Good old Mio.
Cause Miomaika. Like, that's what it did to us. That we can conceive of things beyond the normal realm of possibility.
He does not subscribe to your preconceived notions on what is good and what is not.
Man, that's a lot.
Super now starting to push in. His upgrades are way ahead of Solar right now. And it's looking to be pretty dangerous. The Corruptors, though, can definitely make the difference here. Super does not want to lose a single Colossus. That's a big, and that is a big if in it. Nice force fields come down once again. The Colossus going to be melting the Baneling count. And we'll really have to see how many lost Banelings happen after this game. The blink backwards, and Solar has lost every single Baneling for nothing. The Colossus are starting to go down, but what's left here to deal with the Stalkers?
Yeah, and the 3 Immortals. Remember, they're still around.
Are still around. The Corruptors are just basically dead air at this point. They do take out the Warp Prism, and that's step number 1 for Solar to come back. And Solar is fighting tooth and nail, but the Micro from Super is going to be barely enough to keep him in this fight. Alright, now that the Banelings are starting to roll in, it looks like this fight has lost about, or this push has lost about all steam. And Solar did not really take a lot of economic damage there.
I mean, he's losing a lot of the Corruptors there for free. And these are really important to be turned into Brute Lords later on, because he's getting a Greater Spire. Yeah, both of them lost a lot here. And I'm not quite sure in which player's favor this fight went.
That's a big one. I kind of want to say Solar, because he is mining a little bit more in terms of minerals, and in terms of gas he's not that far behind, but I don't know. I really don't know. Solar does also have is also going into Hive Tech. He does have his Hive, he's getting his Greater Spire, but even then, Brute Lords aren't going to be that effective here, as we've seen in Super versus Sort of.
I mean, they might if Super is not getting any more Stalkers. Or, I don't know. He's getting, not Overload speed. The Protoss Overload speed.
Observer speed?
Warp Prism speed.
Warp Prism speed. Alright, yeah.
Warp Prism speed.
The Protoss drop alert.
Just to make sure it doesn't die to the Corruptors. With the Warp Prism. Gotta keep that thing alive. It's very important.
Yeah, I just need to play very, very safe here.
Look at that, Super is on 5 bases. We're getting the 5th base. But Solar might not allow that?
Yeah, Solar's not looking to allow that. He is almost going to be maxed out here. He has twice the army supply. Is a little bit behind on upgrades, but that's not really too big of a factor when it comes to just denying economic damage. But that's not what Solar's looking to do. He pounces right on top of Super's army. Super is pushed back far into Warp Prism range. These Corruptors are really starting to show their worth now versus the Corruptors.
The Banelings
are rolling straight into the... This looks like it's going to be the beginning of the end. Solar is up 50 supply over 50 army supply over Super.
Yeah, this is done.
And he still has the income. He is still rallying links. GG is called.
Oh, button Yaku.
It was. I think cut out towards the end. No.
Alright, we have Trap winning 2-0 versus Jim Rising.
I like how you had to clarify that.
Jim?
Because Jim is just such a common name, yeah. No, but I mean, Jim is such a common name.
Could be Raynor.
It could be Raider, yeah, exactly.
We have Potting versus Ragnarok still going on.
Wait, we're already in the semifinals?
Yeah. We are Solo is now in the semi-final, waiting on either Control or Cure. Seems like they are still in game. I don't think their series is being casted by anyone, question mark. Maybe one of the other casters jumped on their games in mid-series.
So it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I won't look at you guys' streams, but